Hello, 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 hello. Oh boy. Sorry I haven't done a video in a while. With my health and everything and adjusting to my meds. Uh, I think they're really starting to work and I'm feeling better, which is great, But, you know, I couldn't really do a video if I really wasn't feeling good, so I'm sorry about that. So, this is a review of AEW Dynamite from this week. That is November 13th, 2019. Uh, so this is the aftermath, the fallout from AEW Full Gear. Um, man, everything was great. I love everything AEW is doing. Really they're really knocking it out of the park. They're really doing great. Um, Full Gear was great. You know, uh, Dynamite's been great. Everything's been great. I will do an American Horror Story season 9. What's it? Yeah. I'll do a recap of that and the whole season. I loved this season. It was great. Um, and I love the ending. When they started playing In the Living Years, that always reminded me of my, um, you know, my dad. And, thankfully I didn't because, sometimes, it's like, I don't want to cry. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. I'm good. And I think my meds sometimes, sometimes, and with me, with my health and my hormones going crazy, when it's able to suppress that, and you can't, because when I first started to get sick, I noticed that I would cry sometimes. I'm like, why am I crying? Have you ever been that way? It's like, this is not right. See, and I'm that kind of person that's like, you tend to notice when something's wrong. It's like, okay, this is not right. Yeah. So thankfully I didn't, but I loved it. I thought it was a great ending, a good happy ending, and I know some people are saying that that leaves. Okay, but what about Ramirez? How does he get to Cortez? Yeah, and they'll probably explain that. Hope they. But I loved it. I'm. This was a great season. It really was. And So yeah, I loved it. And I'll try to cover Castle Rock season 2. I'm loving that so far. Kind of telling the story of Annie Wilkes from Misery. I think that's her last name. My brain sometimes, my mind. It's like Ozzy Osbourne. I love that scene from Hackers. Um, they're supposed to write, their favorite writers. And Serial Killer writes, of all the things I lost, I miss my mind the most. Ozzy Osbourne, man. Emmanuel Goldstein. I love that. Uh, so yeah. But you know, um, so yeah. But they do say that once you lose it, you can't get it back. So that's in a sense a good way because then you can finally wake up and then you know. I guess when I finally lost my mind and woke up and realized, I gotta stop, all this stuff and finally be me. And That's always a good thing. So yeah, sometimes it's good to lose it and not get it back. So anyway, I'm drinking my coffee because I've been up all night doing this. And I really wanted to do this, so um, yeah. So we get a recap from Moxley versus Kenny, and that was, I mean, the whole card for Full Gear was great, but that was really good. Kenny, however, we see that he wasn't able to compete on Dynamite, and he had a big scar on his back, and the bit with the barbed wire, like it's, you got your bed of nails. This was a bed of barbed wire nails. You get, well, okay, that's like saying, okay, you want your bed of nails? I got one better. I got barbed wire. They're poking you, so I guess it's doing the same thing, but not how you want. That could be really bad, though, being slammed on a bed of nails. But they have to be dull nails, because if they're, yeah. But anyway, that was, that was a really, yeah. But the whole thing was great, and, so yeah, he asked how Moxley was, and like, oh, Moxley's fine. You kind of, I don't know if you ever get used to the pain from doing something for so long. You know, I guess, with my health and with my PCOS causing my ovaries, like the pain would be out to here. But you get used to it after a while. So, that, I wonder if maybe after a while your body gets used to it, so it adjusts to it. It, you know, knows how to deal with it. Whereas before, if you're not really used to doing that, then your body won't react the same way. So, you know, that would be an interesting way to say it. And then, of course, we start off with Moxley versus Michael Nakazawa. I love that. I love Justin. I think that's his first name. Ring announcer. On Being the Elite, they keep having him practice saying his name. Naka. Waka waka waka. Waka waka waka. I love the Muppets. But so yeah, it was not a long one, not a long fight, but after it, Moxley gets on the mic and tells the whole roster that he wants a fight. So that leads us to later on, where Darby Allin took on Spears and the Librarian. Of course, we have Spears and Janela feuding, so of course he came out and started to fight with Spears. That's going to be interesting because his girlfriend, Penelope Ford, is now at Superbad, Kip Sabian. So, wonder where that's going to go because Ford hasn't been by his side, Janela's side. So, it's kind of like, where, I mean, if they were keeping her as a wrestler, I understand that. But, I mean, I guess sometimes with Cody, even that Brandy doesn't come out with own. Brandy's kind of a heel at the moment, so yeah. But so of course, after everything, Darby accepts, to fight Mox, and so I knew that was going to happen. When he was sitting in the crowd, I think it was at the it was at the buy-in to Full Gear, and he was in the crowd. It's like, when Moxley said he was looking for a fight, anybody on the roster, yeah, I had a feeling it was going to be Darby. So, But that's great. Next we had Dark Order versus the Jurassic Express. Man, I love them. It was great. Afterwards, they were trying to get Marco to join them, and of course, uh, Jungle Boy stood up for him, and when they started to attack him, so okay, Marco is Babysaurus, so Lucia would be Daddy Saurus. So I'm gonna call him Daddy Saurus. Yes. So he came back and saved him, and all the followers from the Dark Order, he beat them up and took all of them out, and that was great. So we had Nyla take on Danny Jordan, and that was good. I believe it was building up Nyla to look like a beast, to really make her into this monster, and I love that. I want her, if they can build her up to do that, and then find somebody that's of her same strength, size, skill. You know, I don't want, I don't like, I mean, even with Kong in their first run with TNA, I wanted someone, I want build up. I don't want to have the smaller girl, because if they don't do that with the guys, why do it with the girls? It's stupid. It's sexist. Even if they're not trying to be, it still is. It's stupid. I understand if you're trying to put somebody over, but that's not the way to do it, because then it doesn't make sense. You need to build it up so that it looks like, okay, all right. So that you believe it, but I want somebody of that size and strength and skill to face her. Um, and it's great because after Full Gear they did the post presser, and Chris said that about a woman uh, uh, being in the inner circle, and Nyla came up. Yeah, I agree. That's perfect. But I don't want Riho, because I know Riho is friends with Kenny, and with the whole feud with the inner circle and the elite. I want somebody of her size and strength. I do believe though what they're doing with Kong and Brandy, because after that, Allie was being interviewed by Tony, but Kong and Brandy came out, and with the promos that Brandy and Kong have been doing, like Brandy summoned Kong, and you know, to get revenge on all the women that put her down, and said, just made her feel like nothing, and so after that, um, you know, Kong took a knife and took some of her hair, uh, and I love that. They did that the buy-in to to Full Gear. They did that with uh oh um Bree Priestley. They took some of her hair. So, but here's what I'm thinking that they're doing. And I love this idea. Um, you know, someone's going to summon, somebody to counter Kong, to counter Awesome Kong. You know where I'm going with this. So at Fight for the Fallen, when Awesome Kong was, beating up some of the girls, Aja came out, and yeah, we had that stare down. Yeah, they did fight over in Japan, but if you haven't seen that, you can go on YouTube and probably find it. But if you haven't seen it, or you want to see that in the States, and that would be good for people that don't normally go to YouTube or do all that stuff, and maybe it'll intrigue them to do it. But it would be that would be really cool, because then you know um, you would have someone uh, to counteract that, and it'd be to see them feud, in AEW, that would be really, really cool. I would fucking love that. Um, so yeah, so yeah, that to me makes the most sense. I mean, you could have a smaller girl, or even say, that maybe they're the girls that they're taking the hair from, their will is weak, and Agja's will is strong, so that they can't really do that with her. So you could do that. You could do a few things with that, but that to me would be perfect. So like Brandy uses black magic, and so you have somebody that uses white magic, and or I don't really know what they call that, but you know, kind of have that going back and forth, and that would be really cool to see, because that would be like they kind of did that with Billy Graham, with Kevin Sullivan, when they were in Florida, and he summoned him from the sea, you know, kind of summoning. Uh, Awesome can, this would be really interesting. Awesome Kong, being American, could represent King Kong, and Angkor Kong could, from being from Japan, could represent Godzilla. You know, kind of kind of a neat little thing there. So, um, anyway, uh, so afterwards, we had Chris came out and started talking about defeating Cody, and then later on, with Sammy becoming tag champs by defeating SCU, he was interrupted by MJF, and dude, I love the guy. I fucking hate him because I love that he's a great heel. That you want to hate him. He really does come off like he's a jackass, and they did end up going back and forth about saying about who's really the jackass between the two, and they settled on Cody, and that was perfect. But yeah, so uh, this would be perfect if Cody said this, Mr. Jack off fuckface. Okay, so it's Mr. Jack off fuckface. Because since they can cuss there, and that'd be hilarious if someone did a foul mouth filled promo, and it's like, wait, okay, now we're gonna have to start you're gonna have to start beeping everything out. But I think that'd be perfect. And Cody said that. Really, I really want to see that. Really getting into, your promo and going all out. And of course, AEW All Out, really going all in and all out. Really doing it, really drilling into somebody. So I like that, Mr. Jack off fuckface. That'd be perfect. So he was saying that Cody was using him, and you know that he really wasn't his friend or anything, and he was keeping him down and stuff. So, of course, then him and Chris go back and forth about if he wants to be part of the inner circle. So, of course, Matthew, Maddie, he calls them the circle jerks, and he's like forwarding and slip, but like I like that. So, because he might be pissed because he's not getting any, but hey, that's yeah. Uh, um, and that scarf, yeah. The only person now, I know Chris wears scarves, but his scarves are different. The only person that could pull up a scarf like that and if I had mine, I would already have done. But the fourth Doctor, Tom Baker, that is a perfect scarf like that. That that is a good scarf like that. And of course, if you're a Doctor Who fan, I mean, I know it's, you know, you're like, yeah, but a lot of people like him, but he really is one of the best. Him and David Tennant, you know, if you're gonna be the best, you have to back it up, and yeah, they both back it up. So, um, anyway, so after that, Chris came back telling him that maybe his parents got horny, um, with him, looking at him beating Hoovy on WCW Saturday night, and popped his little twerp ass out. I love that. Oh man, that'd be. And he's like, "Who the hell is Hoovy?" And Chris is like, "Google it, man. Google it. Yeah, like look it up, dude. Come on." That'd be cool if they had Hoovy come out and attack him and attack Matthew. Oh, Matthew, Matty. Uh, yeah, that'd be another good thing for Cody to do if he started calling Matty instead of Matthew. Not Matt, but Maddie. Oh, Maddie. Oh, Maddie. What's wrong, Maddie? Be mad, Maddie? So, after they agree that Cody is a jackass, Cody comes out and goes straight for Matthew, and then out comes Warlow. Is it Wardlow or Warlow? Where's the D silent? That's confusing to me. But yeah, he comes out for the save, and then M has him hang Cody by his own tie, by Warlow's tie, and over the ring, and I love that. That was that's I don't know if M is going to be part of the inner circle or maybe do stuff on his own, and then have Warlow as his bodyguard, like Hager is Chris's bodyguard. But I think that'd be really cool. Next, man, oh man, oh man, Hangman and Pac had their third, called a rubber. It's a rubber fight. So it was fucking great. Everything, man. It's one of those things you really can't describe with words. Everything was great in it. Pac got the win, and yeah, you know, uh, I forgot who said it, if it was Nick or Matt, but they said that the win loss records would be reset. So when that will happen will be interesting, but I turning Pac, and I don't know if you'd having somebody to face Chris. I mean, it could be Kenny, could be Hangman, it could be Pac, could be Moxley. I don't know, maybe bringing in somebody else. I really hope, whatever name, Mundo, Impact, Morrison, uh, whatever name they give him, that would be cool if he were to come to AEW. Um, that'd be really neat. There's the rumor that he was signed by WWE. I really hope not. It would be cool to see him in AEW, but having him face off against Chris would be cool. But as far as you want to say win loss record, I think Pac's had the most. So it's going to be interesting who could, if that happens. I guess would you turn Pac into a face, or I mean, you could have a heel versus heel, but I'm still wanting Marty to debut, and I mean, knowing everything that would happen, of course, you could say they gave him with the elite shirt with the um, mask on it. You can say that's a gift for being part of the elite, but you know, I would hope that maybe that would lead to him debuting. Not, and I like waiting on that because if they did it right away, then you know, it, waiting on things like I love build up. I love build up in wrestling. That's one of my favorite things. So if they did that, it'd be great. But you know, maybe even Hangman might let things go and and maybe help them to take on Chris and maybe even Sammy. I love the pairing of Chris and Sammy. I think they have great chemistry. I love a few weeks ago, forgot who Sammy was fighting, but he got on the top rope and was about to, like it looked like he was going to do come off the top rope, but instead, or the turnbuckle, but instead he like uh, came off and then smacked the guy he was facing. I'm like, man, I fucking love that. That's great. Kakia, he's I love his character. It's great. But I love him and Chris as a team. I think they're really really good. Uh, so yeah. If you could find it, you know, look at it. It was great. It really was. Um, After that, we had the Young Bucks and Santana and Ortiz fight backstage, and it was great. There was a part where Santana kicks in the door to a bathroom, and you see the OC there, man, like relaxing in the bathroom, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna close the door and I'm gonna leave you alone, man. Kind of reminded me, you see in movies where it's like, kind of like the troublemaker, you know, comes to the aid of the kid that's always being picked on, you know. The kid in school that's always being picked on, he comes to his aid and saves him, and kind of reminded me of that. It's kind of like his character. He's this cool cat, laid back, relaxed, doesn't want to hurt anybody. Kind of like Garfield. Garfield always reminded me of that cool cat. He's like I guess the everyday kind of person, go to work, come home, eat dinner, go to bed, repeat, rinse, lather, repeats, not trying to hurt anybody, you know, kind of, very cool cat, that kind of reminds me of that. And of course, he is, you know, has the same color hair, so anyway. But yeah, I love personally, you know, I really want to. I would love if they brought in a six-man tag belt. I believe Ring of Honor has one, but I would love to see them bring one in because they have. I mean, the elites, Kenny, Matt, and Nick. You have the best friends, Matt, Chuck, and Cassidy. You have, of course, you have SCU. And then you have Jurassic Express. So, I think it'd be great. Um, and that's one of the things I love when I started. With wrestling, they had in WCW they had the six-man tag belts, and I love that. It's what So yeah, that was one of my favorite times, and so yeah, so they end up fighting to the arena, and they have uh, like in prison, they would put um, tennis balls into a sock and use it as a weapon. So they put Nick's foot where the the beams are to hold up, on the stage area. They put his foot there and started beating his ankle with it. I love that. But then they put mats through the same spot they put Ricky Morton through the week before. I think it was the week before. But I love that. That was it was great. Afterwards, the private party came out, and but they were both teams were held back. So that'll and I love private party. I think what they're doing is great. So yeah. So then we get to the main event, and we have SCU versus Sammy, and it was cool because at Full Gear, Daniels came back dressed as Pentagon, and of course at All In, Chris Jericho was dressed as Pentagon when he attacked Kenny. So, but when Daniels took off the mask, he had the unk on his eye, and that's the fallen angel. And I love that. So that would be kind of cool to see that again. Certain gimmicks, it's like, it's almost like, when your character, it's like you always have to reinvent yourself. I mean, if something's getting too repetitive, it's not working anymore, you have to try something else. Let's be honest. You can't always do the same thing over and over again. You got to try something else, if it's getting stale, or even adding something to it. You don't have to completely revamp yourself, but add something to it to make it, it's always good to, even if you don't completely revamp yourself, to add something new to make it, even bigger and better and everything. And so, yeah. I mean, that's like what Chris did, with the click of a pin, and, you know, I mean, his character, he, he's perfect with being able to reinvent himself. Um, but like some of his character, to where WCW, he was able to, he turned heel and started acting, goofy and everything. Then when he went to WWE, he did the same thing. He kind of had that then, but you know, yeah. But it's adding things to it, revamping, not completely revamping, but revamping little things here and there. So that's great to do. You have to do that sometimes, and it's fun. It's sometimes it's fun to try new things and do new things, and it's one of the things that I never if you have a talent in something, don't let it go to waste. It might not be that easy to use it depending on what's going on in your life, but always try to use it. So in that sense, it's like, if you have an idea of something that could work with your character, try it. I mean, even if it doesn't work, at least you tried it. You try different things, and then you might find a few things that work and a few things that won't. But try it, and yeah, it's always something I like being able. I'm the kind of person that sometimes I'm trying to write something, and I think, oh, what can I say? And a word would pop into my head. I'm like, oh, I like that. So yeah, it's kind of like that. Where you have something like that happen, and it's like, wow, yeah, I'm gonna try that. Well, that's a great idea. So yeah, but it was great. Some parts, Chris and Sammy were playing around, and Sammy lays down, kind of like Michaels would do when he would lay on the turnbuckle. Kind of did that, and then Chris, yeah, got in the ring and then like put his arm there, on him and smiled. I love that. So yeah, uh, you know, it was great. I love the ending too because the ending, it goes back to after Double or Nothing, and Chris won the belt, where he said, "Scorpio Sky, you never beat me," and Scorpio Sky is the one that got the pin. So I thought that was perfect. That was, and of course that's Chris's first loss. And he like went ballistic afterwards and started tearing up everything. Sometimes I wonder, and I'm not, you know, I'm not the kind of person. I'm not like saying that putting someone's body on the line is yeah. I'm not making fun of that. But when they put somebody through in WWE, they put somebody through the announcing table. I wonder if that's kind of their way of saying they don't want to, tear it down or something. It's like, uh, anyway, like have something like that happen. Like, oh, we're tired, we want to tear it down, and uh, it's kind of. I mean, I'm not, Anyway, so yeah, it was great. I absolutely loved it. Oh man, like I said, I'll get to um, my American Horror Story 1984 season review, and I'll try to do Castle Rock if I can't, because I don't want to try to do a lot of stuff if I can't do it. But if I can, then I will. And so yeah. Remember, my links are below. My PayPal link, my Amazon link, my Patreon link, and my Twitter link are below. Please donate if you can. If you can help out, help me to be able to get some things I need. And it's Christmas time, and I would like to get some presents, and I would like to receive presents. Um, so yeah. Um, but yeah, if you can, donate a few dollars. I'm not saying you have to donate a lot. I'm not, you know, if a few people donate a few dollars, it's like some people think I'm not a kind of person that thinks that a person has to give you a lot of money to, for you to have a lot of money or something, something like that. If a few people, what people could donate to you, what people can send to you to help, all that adds up. So, it's, you see like Salvation Army outside, and, with every quarter you put into that that bin, man, I tell you, that gets a lot of quarters. It makes a lot of dollars. So, yeah, whatever you can, please donate. Help me to build, things better. Help me to get things I need to make this better, and and make my health better, make my life better, so I can do this more and produce, get out more videos and make better content and everything. So, thank you guys. I love you and have a good day. Bye.